3000 North Broadway, towards North Park Drive in North Albany.
Multiple explosions coming from 661. Unable to get any rig down except for 667. Automatically go to a third alarm.
Hey, welcome back to another live Ask Scanner School session. My name is Phil Lichtenberger, and this is something that we do every month here on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter. Is we come on here for about a half an hour or so, and we answer your scanner radio questions. So if you're catching us live, you can go ahead and leave a comment over on the chat on the side of our YouTube video channel. On any of the platforms, just go ahead and leave a comment below the video, and that will feed through everything. If you're catching us on a replay, though, I want to say, first of all, thank you very much for catching us on the replay. Hopefully you guys are seeing me and everything else is going fine. I'm just double checking everything on this end over here, and we're live. There we go. If you catch us again on a replay, just go ahead and give us a thumbs up or a follow or something like that. Let us know that you're out there. And if you want to put over on a comment that you're here, we will definitely be checking back during the week to see if anybody has any additional questions. So again, let me know where you're watching from or catching up on the replay from. And if you have any questions, this is now your time to go ahead and ask. If you are a Patreon extra credit supporter, you can go ahead and catch us over on Zoom, which again, the link is over on your Patreon dashboard. And over there, we have a small crowd tonight with Chris, we got Bob, with Kenneth, and also we've got Glenn in the house tonight. I was going to say the nut house, but we'll see. Let's see what else we got over here. Trying to see where these screens are looking here. Wayne, I got you over here on YouTube as well, and trying to see if I have the other encoder up and running. Just Wayne in here. Yep. This is typical for one of these months where we've not only had a holiday on a Monday, which basically means that we've the next following Tuesday gets a little wonky as far as the streaming goes, but we had something come this month where I had to postpone it for a week. So yeah, we are definitely off a little bit tonight. And then Steve, you're also in as well from I thought it's New Jersey, but it's Steve Jr. So good to see you. And again, if you have any questions, let me know what's going on, and I'll answer any questions for you. Arthur, happy birthday, man! Good to see you on there, and it looks like you're over there on YouTube. And again, you should have the link over for the other link as well. So let me tell you what's been going on here then, while we are waiting for some questions to come in. Joshua got you in as well. We've been, let's see, North Ocean City, Maryland. Good to have you in. We have been recording like crazy over here, trying to gear up for something major. And in fact, we'll let you guys know what's going on. I think it's about time. We will dump that in over on our Patreon session afterwards. So you guys stand by for that one over there. Josh went from Western New York State. Good. Guess over by the Buffalo area, I guess. Or is that too far west? But we've been busy recording. And what's great, too, about it, too, is we have a lot of people who've stepped up and have become guests and have recorded conversations with me that are going to be coming out in the next several weeks. One of the conversations was released today. It was a great one. We talked about with Andrew, who is really into building his own antennas. And what's really interesting about that is you think somebody who's going to build their own antennas is setting up, crazy amount of feet running through random wire, or has got stuff hung up through trees, and has got a lot of real estate to put antennas. Most of his stuff is sitting inside of his apartment. So it just comes to show that you can not only enjoy the scanner radio hobby, not only enjoy shortwave listening, not only enjoy being on HF, but to be able to build something that works in your limited space of an apartment or a homeowners association or a rental or just your own home that you don't want to put anything out. And by running some computer models or doing some Google searches and finding some things that are online to help through the build process, Andrew not only learned a lot, but he also learned enough to be dangerous, such as he had an antenna design that wasn't working well for him, and he was able to troubleshoot it and figure out how to tweak the model so that the antenna then worked for him. So really cool that you can, still learn a lot of things on the scanner radio hobby, and goes beyond just programming and listening, but actually being able to put things together and to build things and kind of be a little bit of a MacGyver, right? And figure out how things come together. We also have some great conversations up as well, where scanning for piracies and anomalies. I was so tongue-tied during that session. I was trying my best not to say that word. But actually down in Steve, down in your area, he was listening to some stuff that was happening pretty much in real time, tuning around, hearing things that are typically unlicensed or unpublished stuff that happens, and being able to pick things up from basically pirate stations, HF, shortwave, all the way through the Portuguese satellite pirates who are out there, and even beyond that. So a lot of good stuff on that podcast that is coming up. I think I'm losing track of where we are in the schedule, but I think we also have a podcast coming up too with Jim, who is a Patreon supporter as well, and we talk about how to establish a listening desk, basically. So whether it means just taking a radio, this is an SR30C, and just setting it up and putting it somewhere on a table and on a desk, and how that is enough to get you up and running and set up and building your first listening post or listening desk, and the things that you can do and what you can build and how you can enhance your environment. And not only going with scanning, but also some other things that you can do that tie into the hobby that allow you to be a part of it. Let's see, we got also coming in here too, Ozzy from Nottingham over in the UK. Really good to have you in from the opposite side of the pond. He got, was it 8, probably at midnight over there. So good to have you on. Will is in, and also Bob. Bob, good to see you on just about neighbors here as well. Looking on both sides, making sure we got everything checking in here. I see a lot of YouTube. I don't see much from the Facebook side of the house. I don't know if we're publishing it over there, but good to see everybody in. And also Max in from New Zealand, working your way through the SDR course rather, and enjoying the SDR play content. Good to see you are enjoying that. Yeah, that was a big module that I'm really glad we got out there. It's just one of those crazy modules too that they're very fast to update things and to push new enhancements to their platform. So it's hopefully that module stays relevant for a while. And also we also released our DSD Plus Fastlane module this past week as well over there. Will is in asking, what is the best way to monitor out of range areas? So let's talk about out of range areas. Out of range areas, the way I'm understanding your question, Will, is by Garrett, I'm just reading the question too. Yes. See you next month. Yeah, Garrett, we're able to hold that date. So we will be good on that one. I found out yesterday we're going to be able to hold that schedule. So I'll approve that meeting shortly. Will, the best way to monitor out of range areas would obviously be to use either a remote listening station, where it basically means it's something you can leave behind, such as what Garrett was kind of doing, and we talked about on a podcast episode with him. I believe we did on a podcast episode. But Garrett was leaving a radio at his parents' house and was trying to log into that remotely and be able to listen from his place. So, again, out of his range, and using software like ProScan. Or even if you use an SDR, and you can use SDR Uno or SDR Console or even SDR Sharp, and you can log into other different radios that are out there and tune into that. Another way to monitor out of range, of course, is Broadcastify, or by using apps like Scanner Radio Deluxe. and being able to not really tune, but at least to monitor, because you have a whole list in front of you. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look right now and bring that up. And let me see if I can do that over here. And what we will do is swap screens out, to Broadcastify. So if you've never seen Broadcastify, well, this is a great website run by Radio Reference, but what you basically can do here is you click on listen and you can browse by top feeds, newest feeds, right, official feeds, anything with alerts, but you can also come down here to the browse, and by going to browse you can pick a random area basically that you want to listen to. And of course, not just from the United States, you can also pick through Canada. And I don't know, Max, since you're on here as well, do they have New Zealand? It looks like it is not on the list, but Ozzy, since you're on here, we do have one for the UK. And, of course, you can come in here and click. And we've got England. And then we've got, let's see, Cheshire. And we can bring that in. And we got, well, it's amateur radio. Let's see if we got anything in Essex. More amateur radio. Because, again, over in the UK, you know, we're very limited to what is allowed to be listened to over there. Mostly the stuff you listen to on scanners is aviation, marine, and that kind of stuff. Looks like a lot of what's being streamed over there is just amateur radio based, because I believe that the laws for monitoring would be pretty limited. But yeah, we come over here to Canada and we look at, let's say we look at Ottawa, and we can listen to Ottawa provincial. My speech is awful tonight. Police and fire, and we can just come in here and we can actually click on the link, and from here we can bring up a play link. And if we go ahead and click on start the player, it'll pop up a screen, which I don't think you guys will be able to see right now, but you can play it live and do that. Another thing that would be really cool is, let me come in here and let me switch screens really quick. So we're going to come down to this one here, and let me bring this window over, and just see where this is going to launch before I bring this over. Aha. All right. So we are going to switch display, click on this, come over to here. Transition. All right. So what we are looking at now is SDR console. And again, this allows us to use our software-defined radios. And you don't even need a software-defined radio to play around with this. You can actually do this without a software-defined radio. But what we want to do here is we want to go to a server. And let's see if we can find one here. So definitions, let's see, search, and we can click on server, and let's see what pops up here. So server name, let's see, online servers. I'm hoping you guys, yep, you guys can see this. Now, these are all the servers that we can get into. So we can scroll through here. I think that with the checkboxes should be good to go. So I don't want to go too far here. But let's see what we got. We've got Switzerland. That's an interesting one. Germany, right? And let's see if we got more information here. Airspies. New Orleans, Ozark Mountains, Argentina. I mean, yeah, these are all pretty much right out of reach from what I'm able to hear here. So let's go to Sweden. Let's see what we can get here. And that's an Airspy HF. And if we click on select, we have that. And then we should be able to, let's see, it's been a while. Show characters, password. I guess there's a password on that one. Let's take another look. It's been a while. Well, I forget how to connect now. Well, that's a little embarrassing. Auto detect. So we should be able to add this into the list. Well, if it worked, if I remember how to do it, I have to take my course again. That's what it is. I've got to go back through my course and remember how to add this in. Then we should get it. So, browse, select, definitions, log file, auto detect. Oh, there we go. Nothing's found. All right. Well, we will we'll have to play around with this later on. But yeah, so that's how you would bring in some more that you can play around with, at least on SDR console. So let's transition over here again. So yeah, that means I got to take my own class and refresh how we do that. Let's look at Jeff is saying, can I magnify it at all? You know, I wish I could, Jeff, but it then messes up the image that we have here on screen, and it blows everything else out of proportion. Josh was saying, watching from Central Illinois, Unication is your go-to receiver. Yes, and if anybody is interested, I am a Unication dealer, and I am looking across my desk right now for my Unication pager, and it looks like it's on the other side. But yes, really good devices over there. If anybody's any question about that, you can go ahead and hit me up. I'm over at East Coast Pagers is my website, where you can go ahead and ask me any questions you want about a G-Series pager. Traffic Jam is in. What is an SDR program to listen to a single DMR channel besides DSD Plus? We could try firing up SDR Trunk. Let's try that one. I believe, as it was actually a question I had for an upcoming Ask Scanner School session. And let me double check that, because I definitely have to scratch that and see if that is in there. So I'm just going to launch SDR Trunk while I'm waiting to transition screens here. And we will do that now. So I'm going to transition. All right. So I'm pretty sure I'm not blowing out anybody's eardrums here with any audio. I don't see any audio passing through. So let me know if it's anything's loud. But what we should be able to do on this here is we should be able to go over to tuners, right? We've got our 2 tuners in here. We go to playlist editor, and we can come over to channels, and I have a whole bunch of channels in here right now. So if I go over to new and I go to DMR, there we go. We can actually add in a single DMR channel and have it work. So let's put this into theory here. So if I come over to radio reference and I come over to login, I've got a DMR system here that I can bring in. If I can click on that, it would be a single channel, right? Or what I can do is I can come over to Nassau County and I can go, let's see. I have a feeling that this doesn't let me bring in single channels. It's been a while since I played around with this one. But you could drop in a single channel and then you should be able to hear it. Let's see if this works. So I've got my AnyTone DMR radio here. Of course, we're waiting for it to boot up. So what we'll do is we will cancel this and do channels, new DMR. And we will look for that here. We'll call this hotspot test. Home. Name is Simplex. Frequency will be, menu, zone. Hotspot. Select. Yeah, it'd be nice if I knew what my hotspot frequency was, huh? Well, there goes that idea. 437 dot something. I'm gonna have to figure out what my hotspot frequency is, but that's pretty much how we would do it. I'm trying to think about it as I do it. My hotspot's disabled, so I can't even see where it is. APRS dot phi. Let's see if this brings up an old information for me. And let's see, call sign W2LAE. There it is, 438.8. Alrighty. Preferred tuner will be, we'll do that one. And then we'll do add. Whoop. Add. There it is. Delete. I've never done a single channel on here before. Let's see how it works. So now we've got our single channel. right, up and running. Our tuner is tuned. 430. Why is it not? Well, it's center frequency, right? So let's see what happens. There it is. That's where I key up. W2LE test. Well, I don't hear it coming through the speakers. I don't see any IDs coming through. Could be because we're off frequency here a bit. Why did it not work out right? I am really batting 1,000 with you guys tonight, huh? Let's see. Next window, playlist editor. What did I do wrong here? 4388. Yeah. So it should work. But anyway, I've never actually tested the SDR trunk to do single channel, multi-channel DMR. It's built in the software. It should work in theory. Don't know why it's not coming through. I'm not hearing it, but yeah, it should be in there. All right, so that's hopefully hopefully that'll help. All right, let me play around with it and see what we can get to work. We'll come back to this one. All right, let's move through some more questions here, guys. We've got a Facebook user. I don't know, sorry who you are. It's not passing your information through, but Facebook user in here. The Smoking Ape, Traffic Jam. You don't have an SDR right now, but you'll get into an RTL SDR. You watched your way through the course and you're excited to figure it out. Yeah, Traffic. You know, it's really fun to go through it. Again, the free course, I use DSD Plus Fastline because it's a free software. It's established. It's been out there forever. And it's a good way to get your feet wet into it. SDR trunk is you know, a bit more complicated with the setup, but it's a little bit more rewarding as well. It works really well. Let's see. Wayne is saying, can you enlarge the scanner school screen by clicking on the broken square on the lower right of the screen, green shade area for full screen? I'm not seeing that area, to be honest with you. All right, we'll have to take a look at that again. Thought SDR trunk was only for trunking. No, Traffic. If actually, you can actually use it for conventional scanning as well. There is a narrowband FM tuner in there. And then was saying Max is in nothing for New Zealand. Radio reference is very empty also. I know, I've noticed that, Max. And then Facebook user. Oh, there you are. Good to see it. The other LIE is in. Yeah, I don't know why it's not given your name, but it's now I got you in there. And Chris from Australia, good to see you in there as well. Yeah, so let's go back over to SDR trunk. We'll poke around in there for a little bit, being that we're kind of low on questions. So let me transition back over to here. So what's really good is we can, oh yeah, Smoking Ape. Hey, now it rings a bell. I got Kenneth just sit over here in chat because Smoking Ape is in the house. So yeah, Smoking Ape. Hey, Smoking Ape, go ahead and plug your channel. Both the Smoking Ape and the Coffee channel. By the way, we got our decaf tonight to make it through the session without keeping me up all night long. We'll be back. Yes, we are now back over here. All right. So if you also look at the tuners over here, well, we're going to bring up the playlist editor. And if you notice, we can actually go to File New, and we can go to Narrowband FM. And from here, we can pick a standard Narrowband FM channel if we want to. So I can actually come in here and type in NOAA Weather Radio if I wanted to. And the source frequency, I could do 162.55. And again, we could do channel bandwidth, if full, I say wideband FM if you want to, right? Not broadcast FM or narrowband FM. And of course, we can add some additional decoders in here, such as MDC 1200. You can do Fleet Sync if you wanted to, or something crazy like that. We can log the channels, and also we can record them as well here. So we can actually, let's do preferred tuner here. Let me just, yeah, we're going to save this. We're going to just stop the DMR tuner, and we're going to bring this up. And if we move this out of the way. All right. Don't know if it's coming through and making a lot of noise for you guys, but the speakers behind me have tuned into the NOAA Weather Radio channel. So yes, you can use SDR trunk to tune into other channels. So what's also cool here too is we can come in here. We got NOAA Weather channel, and we can do new, and from here too, we can also tune in just AM. We can do LTR net, MPT 1327. Passport, of course, you can manually put in here a phase 1, phase 2 system. So, yeah, you can do conventional right through SDR trunk. Again, I don't know why DMR didn't work. It should have. It's set to the right channel setting. I was keying up here. Oh, you know what? Does it have anything to do with the fact that this is set up for a repeater channel and not simplex on my radio? I know DMR is very, very flaky about stuff like that, but I am going through as a simplex channel. So I'd have to fire up the hotspot and see if I can at least receive the hotspot audio on here. But the hotspot is disconnected for now. So that would be that. But yeah, you can come in here and you can tune in as well on SDR trunk. All right, let's go through the chat a little bit more here. Robert is in. Good to see you in, Robert. And I'm not gonna be able to say it. Mac, thanks for doing that one. Any news on accessibility mode on the scanners that are on the market, such as audio feedback when pressing buttons or twisting a knob? You know, that is one of my biggest gripes. So let's go ahead and just vent here for a couple minutes. Yeah, you know what? While I'm going to do that, let's go ahead and transition the screens here as well. So I'm going to remind you guys that if you have any questions for the podcast, our number is down below. You can actually call it right now. It goes to a voicemail number. It never rings my phone, and we'll put you in a running for a free tutoring session if you go ahead and use that to ask me a question. Yeah, Mac, that's been one of my biggest gripes with the scanner radios, right? Built right into a $30 Baofeng radio or any other Wuxong or anything like that, right? That you get feedback. When you push the button, it tells you 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We should be able to have this built into a scanner. I mean, really, I really wish they would be built into a scanner, especially with a lot of stuff coming out now that is just menu-driven and screen-driven. That, yeah, there is a market for this. I have helped out a number of blind users in the scanner radio field, and they are using software like FreeScan or ProScan. Yeah, and they're even using Sentinel, using the feedback and screen readers to at least know what they're doing with software so they can program their radios. You know, a lot of people are just learning how to use the radios and memorizing keys and the way they're programming. And in fact, if you want to listen to more about this as well, let me bring up my little cheat sheet here and give you a session number to listen to. Pete DeVasto was on the podcast a while back, and we talked about I'm trying to see where this is now. I don't know. Oh, that's under pack. All right, that's why. Wrong tab. There he is. Session number 86. So scannerschool.com/session86 is a good link. But I talked with Pete, and we really went through like the issues and you know, the difficulties when it comes to using scanner radios, especially for those who are visually impaired. Pete's got some really great suggestions in there. Pete was actually sharing how he's programming and how he's learning how to use scanners. And even on the next Ask Scanner School, Tom asked about programming using Sentinel with his scanner and how he's hearing the radio beep, but it's not going into mass storage mode. And Tom, I don't know if you're listening to right now, but instead of making you wait, the scanner, when you put the USB cable in and it beeps, it's waiting for feedback. It wants you to either put the scanner into mass storage mode, or it wants you to just ignore it, basically, and it will fall back into serial data mode. So if you don't put the scanner into mass storage mode, and it would be so nice for the scanner to say, press E for mass storage, press dot for serial mode. But at least you know the scanner's waiting for you. And if you put it in and you press the button, it will mount the drive, and you will allow you to use it as a micro SD card, as an external drive. And that might be what is holding, I know Tom might be, is holding you back, but yeah, that's one of my things. Like, it's time, right? The radios have enough memory. They're smart enough. Let's get that into a radio. I mean, we could probably even get that in as a firmware upgrade, but I don't know. I don't design these radios. I don't know what might be a limiting factor. Maybe for all I know, they need a sound chip that allows that to happen, a voice chip. I don't know, but yeah, it would be really cool to do that. Let's see traffic. Yeah, it's great. Before I found this out, I had a bunch of different software for trunking, digital and analog. Just found SDR Trunk does it all. Yeah, and in fact, on our paid course, the next module to be released sometime will be the unit trunker module, and followed by that will be the SDR trunk. I've got to actually sit down and record the SDR trunk stuff. Thomas is actually Mac here in there too. Maybe even just an app to control the scanner over Bluetooth. There are apps for that actually on the phone. There's Siren that allows you to control it, but it's not over Bluetooth. But Icom, the ICR30, has software out there that allows you to control the scanner or the receiver over Bluetooth. All right, next one. Thomas is saying, do you have any videos configuring Asterisk All-Star for streaming? I'm switching over my stream and having some issues connecting. Feel free to defer the topic for another time. We will defer the topic, but Kenneth, you may be somebody that might be able to help out with that one, because I know you're doing All-Star streaming or All-Star nodes, so maybe that'll be something to do. So Kenneth, if you want to reach out to K2LIE, you can look him up. He's also big on Bridgecom. He may be able to, you might be able to do that one. And then was KD2DUA originally your assigned call? Close to mine, except the area, of course. So I don't know if that's a question for me. I did not have a call that close. That might have been a question for Thomas. See, Joseph is in. Good evening, Phil. Unification G5 has become your go-to as well. And Joe, we also will have a thumbs up for your session on the 22nd. So my schedule has been adjusted slightly from where I thought it would be. Would have been taking some time off next week. The week after has been pushed. Not thrilled about it, but so is life. All right, guys. Let me go ahead and give one more recognition over here to everybody who is supporting us over on Patreon. So again, if you are part of our Patreon Extra Credit Club and part of our, hey, you guys are all part. Everybody's part of our Scan Nerds community. We're branding you guys. If you're into the hobby and you enjoy being a part of Scanner School or just being part of being with Scanner Radios, you're a Scannerd. That's what we're calling you guys. So welcome to the club. If you want to be a part of Patreon and be a part of what we do after this, which we have a nice little roundtable discussion, and of course the Zoom meeting is filling up over there. We have more members jumping in right now. Les, I've got you in there. Brandon, Greg, Art, good to see you all. Jeff, I think you were in. No, Jeff, you weren't in prior. You signed in prior, and then I guess you dropped out, and now you're back again. So good to, well, yeah, I don't know. good to have you on there. And we'll be over on Zoom in just a second over on Zoom. So for everybody else, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you know when we do this again next month. And make sure that, oh, by the way, too, a little teaser. We're changing something with the podcast. For everybody that digests the podcast over on YouTube, we have something different in the works. And if everything goes to plan, and if I can get things done to the editor, and if they give us the go-ahead, we will have something different for you to digest on the first Tuesday of October. And then maybe one more coming after that. So we're going to make this something a little bit more... more user, I don't know if I say user, but for anybody over at YouTube who do not like just listening and want to see something, we got something for you. All right, guys, with that, make sure you subscribe, make sure you're on our newsletter, and we'll catch you all again next month. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for everybody for watching the replay. Again, subscribe, thumbs up, let me know you're out there, and thanks again for being part of the community. All right, I am going to say 7-3, catch you all again the first Tuesday of October. We are a go for the first Tuesday of October. All right, guys. While I stumble around here to find my screen so I can go ahead and hit the kill switch, that's why I'm stalling. We'll catch you all again next month.